All right, here we go, guys. All right, so I'm starting with example 7 from yesterday's notes. Remember, guys, we are writing the equation of a line. The only formula I make you guys use to do any problem is y equals mx plus b. That is the only formula you guys need to know, and you should be able to do all of these problems. So the two best pieces of information you are hoping for is the slope m and the y-intercept b. That is what we're going to have our fingers crossed, hoping this problem told us. If they don't tell us that information, we're going to have to work a little bit harder to write these equations. All right, guys, example 7 says, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. We always start every problem using slope-intercept form. This just means you're going to be allowed to leave your final answer in slope-intercept form. All right, our line is going to have to pass through the points 5, -2, and 2, 10. So guys, right away, it's pretty clear they did not tell us the slope. It's also clear that they did not tell us the y-intercept because neither one of these points has an x-coordinate of 0. So guys, it's almost like, wow, damn, they didn't tell us any good information. And you're right, they didn't. But if they're willing to tell you 2 points on the line, then guess what you're going to be able to find out on your own? You're going to be able to find your own slope. We're going to do change in y over change in x, and we're going to find the slope ourselves. All right, so let's do that. So we're going to find the slope. M will equal change in y over change in x. I'm going to do 10 subtract -2 as the change in my y over 2 subtract 5 as the change in x. Now again, if somebody wanted to go -2 subtract 10 and 5 subtract 3, we're all going to end up with the same slope. It don't matter. That's going to get me 12 over -3, which gets me excited because that's -4. So now my slope is a whole number, and I don't got to worry about playing with a fraction because I don't want to work with a fraction if I don't have to. All right, so guys, now we have a slope. Yesterday, when they were willing to give us a slope and 1 point, we borrowed that point to plug in for x, y, and then our slope for m, and we were able to solve for the y-intercept. So now we have a slope and 2 points. It's almost like you have too much information. So what you're going to do is pick one of these points and forget about the other one. You only need one of the points from here on out. So guys, I'm going to pick 210 because they're both positive numbers. So I'm going to use my slope of -4, and I'm going to pick the point 210. If somebody else wants to use the point 5 -2 just to prove that we're all going to end up with the same answer, please feel free. All right, but now I'm going to borrow this point and I'm going to use this slope. I'm going to plug it in for m, x, and y into y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to solve for b. So it's just like we did yesterday. We're going to take this formula and we're going to plug -4 in for m. We're going to plug 2 in for x, and we're going to plug 10 in for y, and we're going to solve for b. So everybody do that right now. Okay, then I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to solve for b. So that's going to be 10 equals -4 times 2 is -8 plus b. The only thing we're going to have to do to get b by itself is add that 8 over. And now you have the two perfect pieces of information that you need to write this equation. We already found the slope, and we just found the y-intercept, which is 18. Now, again, I know that's a pretty large y-intercept normally than what we're used to seeing, but they're not asking us to graph it, guys. So don't worry if it's a fraction. Don't worry if it's a bigger number. They're not asking us to graph it, so it doesn't matter. All right, just plug -4 in for m and 18 in for b, and we'll have the equation of this line. And then there is the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that passes through these 2 points, and you're done. All right, can I get a thumbs up if everybody's okay with what just happened? Everybody's okay? Now, again, if you ask me, this type of problem is the worst case scenario. This is the kind of problem that requires the most work on your part, because first you got to find your own slope. And if you don't find the right slope, you ain't getting any of the rest of the problem correct. So you got to find your own slope. Then you got to pick one of the points and forget the other one. You got to plug that in for x, y, and m. You got to solve for b, and then you got to plug m and b into the final equation. So guys, it has a laundry list of steps. So to me, that's the worst case scenario. That's the kind of problem that's going to take us the most time. All right. And that's what you're going to have homework questions on tonight, this kind of problem. All right. Look at example 8 and 9. These are meant to be, I don't like to use the word easier because they're, to me, more of a thinking problem. They're easier in the sense that there's not a lot of work involved in writing the equations. So guys, just remember this before we start these two problems. You have 4 things a straight line can do. It can slant to the right when the slope is positive. It can slant to the left when the slope is negative. It can be horizontal when the slope is 0. It can be vertical when the slope is undefined. The horizontal and vertical lines are our special cases. They are special kinds of straight lines. And if you remember, their equations were very simple. If you were the equation of a horizontal or vertical line, you only had one variable in it. It was like x equals a number or y equals a number. Their equations were very, very simple. So when you write their equation, there's not a lot of work in it. It's just a simple process, okay? All right, so guys, look at example 8. It says, write the equation of a line that has a slope of 0 and passes through the point 7, -4. So guys, the first thing I noticed is they did tell me the slope. Now, there's 2 ways to do this problem. I'm going to try to train you to do it this way. If the slope is 0, does anybody already know what kind of line this is? Does anybody remember what kind of line had a slope of 0? I'm going to give you guys a second to see if anybody remembers. Who had a slope of 0? We wrote it on yesterday's notes. You can just unmute and say it if you think you know.
Horizontal.
Oh, it is, Jack. It is a horizontal line. So guys, you are writing the equation of a horizontal line, okay? So if you picture this, picture a coordinate plane. Our line is a horizontal line that will pass through the point 7, -4. 7, -4 is right 7 and down 4. So let's figure it's right about there. So guys, there it is. This is the line that we are trying to write the equation of, a horizontal line that passes through the point 7, -4. Does anybody know on a horizontal line which coordinate will never change? Every single point on this line either has the same x coordinate or it has the same y coordinate. Does anybody know which one stays the same the entire time on this line, x or y?
X.
X is actually changing the entire time. It's y. If you think about it, you're moving right and left all the time. This is the point 7, -4. Now there's 8, -4, and 9, -4, and 10, -4, or 6, -4, and 5, -4. A horizontal line moves right and left. That means the X is always changing. But the Y coordinate, because we don't go up or down, it never changes. So the Y coordinate on this line is the same in every single ordered pair. And what is the y coordinate of the point that our line had to pass through? It's -4. That means every single y coordinate on this line is -4. So that becomes the line y equals -4. That's it. Whatever coordinate doesn't change, that is what the equation is going to be. It's going to be the y coordinate doesn't change, so it's y equals, well, what is the y coordinate of every single point on this line? What's the y coordinate from the given point? -4. So again, you could do it another way using your mx plus b by plugging 0 in for m and trying to get a y-intercept. The problem is you'll never be able to do that process for a vertical line. So I'm trying to teach you guys to just use your horizontal and vertical lines this way. Just reason it out, okay? All right, here we go. So that's it. Y equals -4, call it a day. So guys, a horizontal line equation will always be y equals some number. That's the equation of a vertical line every single time. Okay, now let's do example 9. So now that we did example 8, we should be able to apply that to example 9. So guys, example 9 says, write the equation of a line that has an undefined slope and passes through the point 5, 2. So guys, they did tell us our slope, which is normally a great thing. The problem is when your slope is undefined, you cannot plug the word undefined in for m into a mathematical equation. So we have to reason this one out. So if anybody wants to unmute, if a horizontal line had a slope of 0, what kind of line has to have the undefined slope? What line?
Vertical.
Yeah, it is. It's vertical. You're going to carry the class, I have a feeling, Jack. All right, here we go. So it's a vertical line. So guys, we are writing the equation of a vertical line. So let's picture this. Give yourself a coordinate plane. Our line is a vertical line, and it has to pass through the point 5, 2. So 5, 2 is to the right 5 and up 2. So there's 5, 2. We have a vertical line that has to go right through it. So guys, on a vertical line, what coordinate will never change? I'm constantly moving up and down, but I'm never going left or right. So which coordinate is always the same on a vertical line?
X.
X. Beautiful. And what is the X coordinate of the point that our line had to pass through? 5. That means every single X coordinate on this line is an X coordinate of 5. So that's the line where X will always equal 5. And that's it. No math. You don't have to do any work to get there. All you got to be is able to reason and visualize that out. It's just the line X equals 5. All right, is everybody okay? Because like I said, horizontal and vertical lines are meant to be, I hate using the word easy, they're meant to be easier because there's no work involved. Are you guys okay? Everybody's good with what just happened? Okay. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to switch over to the notes that I posted today. And I'm just going to skip around. We're not going to do all of these examples. I just want to skip around in a different order. I'm actually going to start with example 3 first because it kind of goes along with some of the problems that we've already done. All right. So guys, we're going to do example 3 first on the notes that I posted in today's Google Classroom. All right. Example 3 says, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. So again, all that means is that we're going to start with slope-intercept like normal, but we're allowed to leave it in slope-intercept form in the end. All right, our line has to have an x-intercept of 3, and it has to have a y-intercept of -5. Well, guys, remember, we're hoping for slope, and we're hoping for the y-intercept. They did give us the y-intercept. It's -5. We know B, right? We know B is -5. Usually B is the one we don't know, and we have to go find him at the end. But we know it. We know the y-intercept is -5. So guys, we're kind of missing slope. And normally if you're going to find slope, you need ordered pairs, right? You need some points so you can do change in y over change in x. Well, guys, you technically were given points. You just have to remember what their ordered pairs are. All right, if you picture a coordinate plane, the x-intercept is 3. That means the point where it crosses over the x-axis is when x is 3. Guys, what's that ordered pair? If the x-intercept is 3, that means x is 3 when y is what? What does the y-coordinate of every x-intercept have to be? Anybody remember? Oh, it gets awkward, Miss Greenhouse.
Wait, what did you ask?
If this is the x-intercept, right, it's directly on the x-axis, then you already know its ordered pair. It has an x-coordinate of 3, and what does the y-coordinate of every x-intercept have to be?
0.
Thank you. All right, and then the y-intercept. The y-intercept is -5, so he's down there. Guys, you know his ordered pair. If that's a y-intercept, he clearly has a y value of -5, but what does his x value have to be to put him right on the y-axis? He has to have an x-coordinate of 0. Yes, intercepts have to have a coordinate of 0. So guys, you do know ordered pairs. Now you can do your slope, change in y over change in x. So my slope is going to be change in y, guys, I'm just going to subtract straight down. 0 subtract -5 will be my change in y over 3 subtract 0 will be my change in x. That turns to plus, and I get 5 over 3. Doesn't divide, doesn't reduce. We're good to go. So now you have a slope. You already had a y-intercept. You are ready to plug that information in to y equals mx plus b and be done with this line. So it'll be y equals 5 over 3 times x, and then plus -5 is just -5. All right. So again, if they're going to give you intercepts, that's a great problem. Number one, because we want the y-intercept, and number two, because they are very easy ordered pairs to write and then very easy slopes to find. And guys, also, if you're going to draw a picture, then remember you could have counted the slope. Rise, up 5, and I had to run to the right 3. You should have been able to count your rise over run to get your slope as well. Okay? All right, perfect. Now I want to skip down to example 6 because example 6 is similar to this as well. All right, we're back to functions. Number 6 says, if f of 3 equals negative 5 and f of 6 equals negative 14, write a linear function for f of x. So guys, it's saying that when 3 went into this function, a negative 5 came out, and when 6 went into that same function, a negative 14 came out. We don't know mathematically what happened to these numbers to make those numbers come out. That's what they're asking us to do. They're asking us to write a function to show what happened to these numbers, which guys, at the end of the day, if they ask you to write the function, they're asking you to write the equation of that line. So remember, I've kind of been training you guys for this. Anything that is written in function notation can be translated into an ordered pair. So I've been asking you guys in your notes, your homework, and even your quiz to rewrite function notation as an ordered pair. Remember, a number goes into a function and then a number comes out. X always goes into the function and Y always comes out. So that means that 3 went into the function as X and negative 5 came out of that function as Y. So you have an ordered pair, 3, negative 5. Not negative 6. 6 went into this function as X and negative 14 came out of that function as Y. So you can take any function notation and rewrite them as ordered pairs. So guys, now we need slope and now we need y-intercept. So find the slope using change in y over change in x. Everybody do that right now. I'm going to do negative 14 subtract negative 5 as my change in y. And I'm going to do 6 subtract 3 as my change in x. I don't know about you guys, but I am very excited about that slope because yet again, it is a whole number and it is not a fraction. I do not want to have to work with a fraction if I don't have to. All right, so guys, same thing. If I know the slope and I know points, I can use that to plug in for m, x, and y, and I can solve for my y-intercept. So we're going to use this slope, and you guys are going to have to make a choice. Pick one of these points, but not both. I'm going to pick this one because the numbers are smaller. So I'm going to use this point, and I'm going to use this slope, and I'm going to forget about that point. All right, so I'm going to use my slope is negative 3, and I'm going to use the point 3, negative 5 as an x value and a y value. And I'm going to plug them in to y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to solve for b. All right, so everybody do that. Plug negative 3 in for m, plug negative 5 in for y, and plug 3 in for x, and everybody solves for b. Okay, all I'm going to have to do is add my 9 over. And according to what I found out, guys, I hope you would agree, my y-intercept is 4. And now I have a y-intercept, I have a slope, plug them in for m and b, and we got ourselves a linear equation. Okay, if you wrote that as your answer, we would never mark you wrong. It's beautiful. Technically, they asked you to write a linear function for f of x. So technically, instead of y, you should be putting f of x equals negative 3x plus 4. Again, it's technical. We would never mark you wrong if you didn't, but that's technically what our answer should be. We're writing a linear function. Oh, plus 4, sorry. Okay, so again, guys, you've also just written a function to show why when 3 went in, a -5 came out. If you plug 3 in, guess what? A -5 will come out of this. If you plug 6 in, guess what? A -14 will come out. You've just written a mathematical rule to show why these numbers went in and why those numbers came out. Okay, all right. All right, everybody good? So guys, that's going to be 6 of your questions tonight. They're going to give you 2 points. You're going to have to find your own slope, and you're going to have to plug one of the points in with the slope and solve for the y-intercept, okay? So there's going to be 6 questions like that, and then there's going to be 6 questions where they just give you a slope and a point, and it's a little bit easier because you already have your slope. You don't have to find it yourself, okay? All right, last 2. We're going to do 4 and 5 and call it a day, okay? Again, they're meant to be simpler, so just hear me out on these ones. Example 4, write the equation of a line perpendicular to the line x equals 3 and it intersects it at the point 3, 9. Guys, that's way too much information for me. I think you're silly if you don't draw this out. Give yourself a coordinate plane. Okay. We are trying to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line x equals 3. Does anybody even know what the line x equals 3 is? It's special. It only has one variable. Here's where x equals 3, to the right 3. Does anybody know what kind of line it is? It's got to be horizontal or vertical if it's just x equals 3. Does anybody know which line it is if x is constantly 3?
Vertical.
Yeah, it is. So guys, there's the line x equals 3. Our line has to be perpendicular, meet that line at a 90-degree angle to the line x equals 3. Does anybody know if this is a vertical line, only what kind of line will be perpendicular to a vertical line? Does anybody know only one kind of line can be perpendicular to a vertical line? What kind of line is it?
Horizontal.
A horizontal. So guys, our line is horizontal. Our line has to be a horizontal line that passes through the point 3, 9. So guys, the point 3, 9 is right here. It's right 3 and it's up 9. It's right on the line x equals 3. So we are trying to write a horizontal line that passes right through it. So this is our line right there. It is a horizontal line going through the point 3, 9. Guys, on a horizontal line, which coordinate doesn't change? Which coordinate does not change on a horizontal line?
The y.
The y. I'm gonna but I love you. It's the y. And what is the y coordinate of the point that our line has to pass through? It's 9. So guys, every single y coordinate on our line is 9. So that's the line y equals 9. Done. So again, you got to reason it out, but the work, there's like barely no work involved, okay? All right, last one. Look at example 5. Write the equation of a line parallel to the y-axis, and it is including the point -1, -2. Guys, let's picture this. Give yourself a little sketch. Give yourself a coordinate plane. I hope everybody agrees that this line right here, right there, is the y-axis. So guys, the y-axis is a vertical line. So if our line has to be parallel to the y-axis, never meet it, if the y-axis is a vertical line, only what kind of line would be parallel to a vertical line? Another?
Vertical line.
Yeah, another vertical line. So that means we are writing the equation of a vertical line, and he's got to pass through the point -1, -2. So left 1, down 2. That's that point right there. So our line is passing right through it. So we are writing the equation of a vertical line that passes right through the point -1, -2. So guys, on our line, which coordinate never changes? All we're doing is going up and down, but never left or right. So which coordinate never changes?
I think you lost them, Mrs. Hardy.
I almost was looking into, they have those name spinners where it randomly spins a wheel and lands on a student's name. I think that's going to be my next go-to. and just
Popsicle
random
stick. Miss Riley used to just use popsicle
sticks. Yeah.
Her name's on it.
So I don't know. Nobody knows.
1 and 2.
That wasn't the question I asked because it can't be both.
Okay, 1. -1.
Okay, my question was, which coordinate never changes on a vertical line?
Wait, did you hear me?
Oh, no one heard. I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, when Jalen unmuted, I unmuted, so I said X.
Oh, I did not hear. All I heard was 1 and 2. Either way, I appreciate anybody willing to unmute. The one coordinate that never changes is X. And what is the X coordinate? I think this is what Jalen was saying. What is the X coordinate of the point that our line passes through? -1. So every single X coordinate will be -1. Therefore, is the line X equals -1. Okay? All right, perfect. So just remember, horizontal and vertical lines, there's not much that you have to put into writing their equations, but you better know which coordinates don't change. All right, so guys, you have a homework tonight. It's 12 questions tonight. 6 are where they give you 2 points, where you have to find your own slope, pick one of the points, plug them in. 6 are where they already gave you a slope and they told you a point. So they're a little bit quicker to do. But horizontal and vertical will be mixed in here. Sometimes they're going to tell you the slope is 0. Sometimes they're going to tell you the slope is undefined. You might find out when you find the slope of the 2 points they give you that it's a 0 slope or an undefined slope. All right, so I'm a big fan of drawing a picture when it comes to the horizontal and vertical lines, okay? All right, just remember, yesterday's homework is due tonight at 11:45 on Delta Math. Tonight's homework is due tomorrow at 11:45. And I said at the very beginning of class, if you weren't here yet, we are going to take a quiz on this section alone, 2.4, on Friday, okay? And it's probably going to be on Delta Math because all of your homework has been on Delta Math so far. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to hang out. Ms. Greenhouse, were you able to take attendance? Okay, so then guys, you are free to go. We're going to stay on the meet the whole time. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. And